got the gator up in the field where we were working last night. I'm going to try and find that skid plate. Still searching. Well, unfortunately, no luck. I searched basically everything that I combined yesterday in this field and couldn't find that skid plate. So I'm going to run to the John Deere dealer, go get a new one, and by the time I get back, we'll probably be able to combine beans. So let's go. Got my parts list. Made it to our dealer. Okay, got my parts. Should be what we need here. So we'll head back and put it on first. Got to drive through the lot and see what equipment I got sitting around here. There's a nice tractor. Combines. Ooh, more tractors. Fuel cultivator. Disc. There's a big new chisel plow. Don't know what that thing is. Hay-bine. Nice tractor though. Another hay-bine. Gators. Lots of gators. There it is. Look at that beauty. Someday, maybe. Someday. Made it to the field. Time to get this head fixed. Hopefully start combining right away. Okay, so there was a broken knife section here as well, so turns out I'm out of those. I gotta run back to the shop and get some more. I also need the rivet gun to attach this plastic skid plate to it. I didn't bring that back with me, so I'm gonna run back to the farm real quick, get those tools, make sure there's nothing else that I need here, and this will go back together pretty quick here. There's my knife sections. Got a few of those. Rivet gun should be on the bench over here. Knife's on. Slide the guard on. And then I gotta get some of my new bolts. And this plate fits up underneath there. Goes in that hole, and then up through there. Holding this camera makes this very difficult. Okay, so the knife is there, and then this guard goes on. The skid plate fits underneath, the bolts go through that, up through the guard, hold it in place. Let's go on the top. I do need to tighten that down yet, but I thought I would just kind of explain how this works a little bit. So over here, on the outside of the head, we have this drive head, and there's a shaft that spins, and it rotates this gearbox in here, which spins the piece on the bottom. And it basically makes this knife go back and forth. These sections slide, and then as the bean stems get caught in here between these guards and the knife, it cuts through them, which makes everything fall then into the head. So you can't run without the guards in place. If you got a knife that's broken, just half or something like these ones were, you can still run. Sometimes it may make your cutting a little bit worse. That can cause some of the pushing issues that we sometimes get. So you want to get them replaced, but it's not critical that it be done right away. So usually every morning I'll walk down and look at the head and see if there are any knives or guards that are broken. When I was looking earlier, I think there's one more down right here. So I'll try and replace that one before we get started here. The rest of fixing this, I gotta tighten those bolts up, and then this skid plate fits up under there and gets riveted in place. So we'll get this taken care of. Time to go combine beans. This is what a pop rivet is. It's kind of got this flange on it in its head, and you slide this into the hole here, and then it matches up with the hole in that plate. Get it lined up so that fits in there, and it's got kind of this almost like a nail sticking out of it. So we take our rivet gun and slide it on there. And then when we squeeze it, it pulls on that nail, which basically flattens the back side of that rivet out, and it eventually pops off, holds it in place. So I definitely can't do that one-handed. Just like that. 2 more, and it'll be on there. Got it. Go change this knife guard down, or this knife section down here. Who got this thing all dirty? Can't keep anything clean around here. Okay, it is about 11:45 and we are moving. We got beans in the tank. Everything's working, things look good. Should finish this field, shouldn't take too long, a couple hours here, and then I'm gonna move to the field right across the road from our farm. This is where I got my bean plot. I plan on doing that later this afternoon, so probably won't get a ton of acres done just because we're going to mess around with that for a little while, but it will be good to get it out of the way, get some information off of it. So, see how today goes. Beans are running good today. Looks like I might get a rider. It's my Uncle Jack. He's a retired roadway mechanic, helps us out driving tractor sometimes and does a little bit of our mechanical work and stuff, especially on the trucks. So, moving out, on to the next field. More fuel. Jack and Phil are going to get the grain cart and the other truck moved back here, so we're going to get the combine fueled up and get across the road, open this field up. Don't forget the government juice. Shout out to Brian's farming videos. If you haven't checked out his page yet, he does a pretty good job. I went in to fill my water up, raided my parents' pantry. Crackers, fruit snacks, animal crackers. 275 gallons later, time to go back to work. Quick, shut the head down. We don't want to get that rock. Whew, that one could have done some damage. Okay, I've got the field around the plot all done. About 27 acres. It says there's 9, almost 10 acres left, which would all be in the plot. So, yeah. I guess the next thing I need to do is go ahead and pull all the signs in front of the plot and stuff, and then go ahead and get started with it. I'll kind of walk you through the process and how we harvest a plot here as soon as we get started. But it's almost 5:30. It's going to take us a while. Hopefully, we're done before it gets too dark. Okay, the first thing we got to do to get these through this plot is pull all these signs out, get them out of the way. For right now, I'm just setting them out there along the road. I'll come back with a gator to pick up and get them out of the field, or pick them up out of the roadside and put them away later. Okay, the signs are all out. You can definitely see the color variation and the differences in the varieties. It just shows that there's a lot of diverse genetics in our plot here. So it'll be interesting to see which ones win and which ones are no good. I have my guesses as to the varieties I think will be better, but now that I've pulled the signs out, unless my memory is really good, I really don't know which ones are which, other than that they're in a specific order that we'll figure out later. So, yeah, should be a pretty good trial here. Okay, so the way that this works, all my plots are 20-foot wide entries, which means I have to take half a header width. I slowed down the draper belts because if I kept them fast, they would throw the beans right past the center, and this other belt over here would actually pull them under, and we would lose some. So we don't want to do that. So I got them slowed down. We're getting all the beans in. We're going to combine each strip, and then we will dump them into the grain cart and get a weight, because our grain cart has a good scale on it, so we'll know exactly how many pounds each strip produced. I'm going to take the moisture from each strip, average off of the combine yield monitor, and we'll put that in, and then there's a spreadsheet that has a formula to correct. We'll measure the length of the rows so we know exactly how many feet we've harvested and figure out the yield in bushels per acre based on that formula. You can see I've got a strip down the middle here. I'm actually going to do the front and back half of this plot separate The front half was sprayed with a fungicide, the back half was not. So that will give me a really good idea of what difference the fungicide made and if some varieties responded to it better than others. So it's a lot of running around. This is going to take us a little while, but the data is certainly worth it. So when we're done harvesting a pass, I come back up here to the grain cart and get lined up, turn the unloading auger on. I also check the moisture from this screen, 13.73, so I wrote that down on my notepad here. We wait for the unloading auger to go empty, about like that. Once the auger is empty, we shut it off and we check the iPad for weight. Write that one down. 666. That's a scary variety right there. So the reason that I don't just use the combine yield monitor to compare all the varieties and stuff is we're harvesting such a small amount that as great as the yield monitors are on combines and as good as they've gotten in the last few years, they're just not accurate. We're talking about somewhere between 6 and 8 bushels is all we're harvesting of each variety. And so slight differences or small weight differences can really make a big difference in the average yield per acre when you're only, harvesting a fraction of an acre. And so I just don't feel like the combine yield monitor is quite accurate enough doing small amounts like this to really get a good idea of what these varieties are doing. Weighing them through the scale on the grain cart, or what we've always done in the past before we had this cart with a scale on it was my sales rep has a weigh wagon that's specifically made for doing exactly what we're doing now. So the grain cart certainly makes it a little bit more convenient. So I can do it on my own and do everything right from the seat of the cab here, or seat of the combine, and it's accurate. Well, I'm moving right through this plot, but it is starting to get dark on me. You guys probably can't tell that. We'll get it done. I don't know if we have enough breeze tonight to work as late as we did last night or not. It's not quite 7 o'clock, so it gets dark early at the end of October. Okay, I think I've got all of the varieties done, at least on the fungicide half here. These last 6 entries are actually all the same variety, and what we did was vary the population to see if different planting populations would make a difference. Typically, the later we get into the spring or summer in this case, since it was June 27th when this plot was planted, the more population we tell you to plant on beans. If you, like on our farm, we normally plant about 160,000 plants per acre. We were planting 200,000 plus the end of June. So I did this plot all the way from 125,000 up to 250,000 on the other side, just to compare and see what kind of a difference that makes. Okay, it's definitely gotten dark on me outside now. I got the front half of that plot completely done, both the variety and the population trials. So I'm working on the back half of the non-fungicide variety trials now. Just takes a little while to do this, so it's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. It is sort of interesting already. I can tell that these varieties are a little bit drier where we didn't spray a fungicide. Good or bad. I'll take a little bit wetter beans if it means there's an extra few bushels, 3, 5, 10, who knows. We'll see when we get some numbers put together. Do you guys remember that old screensaver from like the 90s that was like you were flying through space with the stars shooting past you? I've always kind of thought the dust from the combine going through the lights like that reminds me of that screensaver. Snow does the same thing. I hope we don't harvest in the snow this year. Okay, I'm done with the plot. I have 2 full pages of information here, data that we'll get put into a spreadsheet probably tomorrow morning. That also finishes this field, so I'm going to jump back across the lane where I was earlier and try and finish that field yet tonight. It is now about 8:15. I'm not sure exactly what time it was when we started this plot, but it took almost 3 hours, I think, or close to it. So hassle, but well worth the information. I don't have any kind of yield results, just numbers, but we'll see. Say hi to my YouTube people. Since I got that plot done, I can use the auto steer and have just a little bit more free time, I guess. So FaceTime with my wife. Was really hoping that my kids were still awake so I could talk to them, since I didn't really get to see them today other than this morning. So that's the hard part about farming sometimes, is it is long hours. I don't get to see my kids as much as I want to, and my wife, when we're in the fields working, but it's alright. It's worth it when they come and ride with me, and it certainly gives me some more flexibility when they're in the off season, I guess, that I can go home at 5 o'clock and spend some time with them, or take a day every now and then. So. But I'm thankful for technology, so I can see them. Plus, I'm pretty sure Rylan likes watching himself in the YouTube videos, so that's been kind of fun. Chasing a coon. I think he's far enough ahead, I'm not going to catch him, unless he's stupid. Don't you run into my grain cart. About 9:30 now. Beans are finally getting dry. We've been running in the high 12, low 13% range, which is perfect. It's right where we want them. So these beans are going straight into the bin. We don't have to dry them, which is awesome. Yield's still hanging in there. High 40s, 50, right around in that area, which these beans were late planted. Didn't expect much, so happy with that. It would appear that Phil is tired of sitting around waiting on me, because when we're right across the farm, he can keep up pretty well. So I don't know if you can see, but hey, he's waiting there, gonna run a grain cart for me. So yeah, see my studio lighting I got in here, so you can actually see my face when I'm doing these videos in the dark. But things are still running well. Got about 20 acres left in this field. Should get it done tonight. I have noticed things are starting to get tough a little bit. My yield loss has gone up, so I've had to slow down for one, and opened up the sieve, turned the fan down so it's not blowing them quite so hard. They get a few more pods in the sample, but when their beans are drier, they crack open easier anyway, so I don't need quite as much air to keep them clean. So hopefully we'll get these last 20 acres done. It's gonna be about an hour yet. Man, that thing is pretty. Chasing another one. Definitely starting to get tough now. You can hear them growling through the combine. I have like 1 acre left, so we're gonna finish them. Another field done. Time to put the combine to bed. Go home and put myself to bed. We ended up having a really good day today. I did about 130 acres of beans, and that includes taking 3 hours to do 10 acres for my plot there, so that's excellent. Tomorrow's weather looks okay. I think we should have another big day, but then Saturday there's a pretty good chance of rain, it looks like, so I think we really need 2 good days to finish the beans here. We do have some at our farm down in Berkey that I was talking about a couple of videos ago. We'll get to them later. I'm not really that concerned about going down there right now, so be nice to get these 2 good days up here and finish, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. We'll get our one, and we'll see how far we can get tomorrow, and at least get close. Tomorrow is our early pay deadline for my seed business, so I need to spend the morning going and collect some checks from some guys, go to the bank, and then get some stuff sent off in the mail. So I'm going to be working on that before we can run beans. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Plot results. If you're a farmer and you want to see my plot results, I will have them posted to my website. I have a website specific for my seed business, so I'll put a link in the description. It's xlseeds.com, and you will be able to see them there. It might take me a few days to get them there, but as soon as I get them available, I'll get plot results up there. So have a good night. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you got any questions or comments, leave them below. Find me on Facebook and Twitter at Border View Farms. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.